Hello Zainey friends, I'm Laney and this is my side geek, Chris. And today we are doing makeup in a movie where I put on and talk about makeup.
And I talk about a movie.
And today's movie is...
The Martian.
Yay! Cop movie.
A cop movie?
Hot movie? No, not a cop movie. Anyway, today I'm going to be creating this look that you see right here with the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, as well as I'm dropping the lipstick. Yes, the elusive Star Wars Covergirl collection lipstick, which the only thing more elusive than this is the Milani matte lip creams. True story.
I don't know what that means.
If you want to see how I did this look and what we thought about the movie, make sure you keep watching after the break. Alright, so for our look today, I will be using this Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. I still haven't gotten the semi-sweet, but I'm hoping this year will be the year that I'm getting the semi-sweet. We're going to be using this palette. Of course, if you have watched anything on YouTube and you're beauty interested, you've probably seen this used because it's a classic. And also, everything that I have used on my face so far will be down below in the down bar. So how I'm going to go about this is, if you've seen this palette at all, you know there are a lot of really nice earthy tones in here. So I'm going to be using pretty much across the base of my eye. We're going to be using this color, which is hazelnut, and then in my crease I'm going to be using this color right here. That is semi-sweet, and I'll kind of tell you the rest as we go, but let's talk about The Martian.
So, Martian, I have been looking forward to this movie for quite a while since it was announced, and I saw the first trailer. I really enjoyed Gravity a lot, and I thought this was kind of in that same type of space movie, you know, someone gets stuck out in space and,
exactly,
you know, are they gonna make it? And I thought Gravity was thrilling, and this was good as well. So basically, The Martian is about Matt Damon. He plays Mark Watney, botanist, engineer, astronaut, and he's on a manned Mars mission with a 6-person team. And they are partway through their mission when this big storm comes along and they all gotta get out of there. They have to abort their mission. And on their way out of there, something happens to him, an accident, and so everyone else on the team thinks he's dead. His communications and stuff on his suit are no longer functioning, so it's saying that basically he's dead.
And it's not like they can go back for him because the storm's coming, and if they don't get out, they're all gonna die. So they're kind of like, one man, 5 people.
Exactly. So they end up having to get out of there. And so the movie then goes pretty much to Earth, where you're seeing NASA having to break the news to Earth and tell everyone that this manned mission to Mars now has been aborted and one of their men have perished. So it's a big deal. But then we end up back on Mars, and you see that he is actually alive. He's injured, and he ends up making it back to their camp and everything. He's injured in a way in that he basically has to do it himself. He's there by himself, and it's a very not for the faint of heart type of scene.
Let's just put it this way, like, it's one of those things that, yes, me as a girl, I would be like, no, I'm not watching this. Marshall, on the other hand, was like, through the entire scene, because he couldn't even deal with it, and he can usually handle those type of things, but
yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, that was probably the worst part of the movie, was that part. If you guys remember Castaway, you know that whole scene where he takes the ice skate and he tries to like break his tooth out? It was kind of in that realm.
Yeah.
Without spoiling what happens, it's kind of in that realm.
Yeah. So, and he's got to do it all himself. And I guess, you know, when you're trained for an astronaut, that's something you pretty much train for, is that you probably have to
basic
fix
medical
yourself at some point.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he does it well. I mean, obviously, because then he survives past that point.
Yeah.
Not really a spoiler. But, so,
right.
He then has to figure out a way to survive. He knows there's another mission to Mars coming. He realizes that they probably know either that he is alive and they just can't make it back, or because he can't communicate with them. Communications are not working. So he realizes that, you know, basically he's just gonna have to wait for the next ride.
And it basically takes them a year. Is it a year that it takes for them to get... Anyway, it takes a long time for them to get back to him.
Yeah, it's not a
even
quick
if
trip
they
to go
were
to
about
Mars.
to turn around. It's not.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that if they turn around to go back to Mars, the Ares crew that went there originally, they don't have enough supplies to hitch backwards, get him, and then go back to Earth, or they wouldn't survive. They don't have all the supplies necessary. But the thing is that the Ares crew they're on their way back to Earth. Earth finally starts seeing, like, you know, wait, this vehicle's moved on Mars. Why is that moved? What's happening there? And they end up finding out he's still alive, and now they have to figure out a way to save him. Is this
Get him back.
feasible? Can we afford this? Is it possible? So,
I mean, the greatest thing about this movie, which this doesn't even give anything away either, because the main thing is, how does he get off Mars? So that's what you're wondering, right? So what's really interesting about this movie is that, to me, it was very realistic. There wasn't anything about it that was like so far-fetched. I was like, no. But the awesome thing was he thought about things like he's gonna run out of food in this amount of time. Even all the food that he had that was for 6 people, he has to make it last. So he's a botanist, so he figures out how to grow things on Mars, which I think is, you know, that's just genius. Because if you wanted to leave anybody behind, it would probably be the botanist. Because if they don't have food, they don't survive. That's the one thing they need. So he figured out how to do that. And through the course of things happening, you realize, like, I don't know, it was a genius way that he was able to communicate with them, that they figured it out, that kind of a thing. I mean, it was...
Because that was also the part of his character that was like an engineering... he's an engineer as well. And that came into play with him trying to figure out that way to communicate back with NASA and everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to try a couple other things here. I'm going to try maybe... Let's go with cherry cordial. This one right here, it's kind of a darker brown, and I'm going to put that kind of like right in this part of the lid on the outside. Why can't I say this? This part of the lid on the outside, and then blend it in. And then I'm going to use, Amaretto. This one right here. And I'm going to use that right on the lid just to kind of give it more of a shine going on. I know it's going to be kind of a darky, vampy thing happening, but you'll see where I'm going with this. Very Red Planet, I think.
So yeah, it's the realism of, you know, NASA having to. You have Jeff Daniels playing the NASA director, and he's having to balance between, you know, that human desire to want to go and rescue somebody. Like, obviously, you know, this is a guy we've left behind. We want to save him.
Yeah.
You know? But then also that part of, you know, we're a business. There's only so much monetarily we can do. There's also so much physically we can do in creating something to possibly go back and get him and devise a plan.
Exactly.
So, you know, that whole them figuring that out, and then him back on Mars figuring out how to survive as well, because he doesn't know what's going to happen. He's just planning for that next mission in a year and a half or so. It's way down the road. He like figures out the math for all the food that he can eat and everything else, and also figuring out a way to get to that next landing site. But yeah, it just then becomes really, really fascinating and just sucks you in for those like 2.5 hours of the movie of all of that. And I don't know, I felt like that went by really fast.
It did go by fast, yeah.
Because you're just invested in like what is going to happen. The writing and the casting are the things that kept this movie going. You had to have someone really likable, and Matt Damon did that very well.
Yeah, I mean, that is part of it too. It is funny. It's and you would not expect it to be a funny movie. Like, maybe a little bit from the trailers, but it keeps it light enough that you're not like, everything's going wrong. But no, it's actually a lot of comedic things that happen as well.
Yeah, he does a lot of little, because he's kind of in a way blogging. He's videotaping himself of, you know, all the video diary kind of thing of everything that he's doing. And so, you know, he only has himself to pretty much talk to, this and the cameras, and he just jokes around and things like that. And that keeps it light too, because if it gets, again, too heavy, then it just, you're like, 2.5 hours of, you know, dread.
Okay, so finally what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this color right here, white chocolate, this big one, and just use it as a highlighter, but I'm also going to put a little bit like just on the lid to just make it shine a little bit more. And then while he's talking, oh yes, I am going to use this right here. This is the Marcel eyeliner, and it is in Mulberry. It's a little purpley. I'm just going to use that in my waterline down here, and of course my Jessie's Girl liquid liner for the top part as well.
Also in the cast, Jessica Chastain as the crew leader is fantastic. I always love everything she does.
Yeah, she's great.
She plays like strong leader type women very, very well, and she does that really well in this, and that she's got to be that tough person to make the tough decisions and keep them going. But then she also plays that caring, I care about my guys, my crew. She does that part really well too. So. And then we have Donald Glover in it, in a very small part, just hilarious, stole every scene he was in.
Babyface Gambino.
Yep.
What? Stay an actor. Stay an actor.
The only part in the casting that I wasn't too sure of, and I know a few other people were.
Yeah?
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
No, I just want to hear what you're going to say, yeah.
Oh, Jeff Daniel and Sean Bean as the two guys at NASA. You have Jeff Daniels playing the NASA director, and then Sean Bean is the crew supervisor. Sean Bean typically kind of plays like mean roles or like villains or kind of like the tougher guy roles. And then Jeff Daniels, I feel like he mainly plays more comedic or lighter type of roles.
Jeff Daniels played his role in Newsroom in this movie.
Yeah, a lot of people who have seen Newsroom, they've all seen that, I guess, and they were saying that it felt very much like that character from that show. So, I don't know, it was kind of hard to see him as this business kind of guy trying to run NASA and doing that balance of, trying to keep this stuff running, but also, deep down inside he wants to save the guy. But then you got Sean Bean, traditionally a bad guy or, tougher kind of guy role, who's supposed to be the flight supervisor who's, pushing NASA to go and save this guy and trying to drive other teams and stuff to come together and try to solve this. The visual. What do you think?
I agree with you pretty much about Jeff Daniels. Like,
yeah.
Sean Bean to me, and like, I felt like I didn't care one way or another about him, so I think it was just in there to facilitate someone who had to go against Jeff Daniels, but I think you're right. Like, Jeff Daniels pretty much played the same role, and it's not that he didn't do a good job, it was just that maybe it could have been somebody else. But for me, speaking of people who played the same as something else, I believe Kate Mara, she always plays the same character. Anyone else see this? Like, she played the same exact character in House of Cards. So I was kind of like...
At the computer.
Yeah, at the computer, doing her thing. Like, I wasn't impressed. I really am not. And, even Fantastic Four was like the same character.
I saw Fantastic Four, and she was a lot like Sue Storm in that, where she had the headphones on, and she was just on the computer working away, and I was like, did she just be like, oh, I'm doing something sciencey, so put on headphones. I did that in that one movie, and it worked. I don't know.
Pretty much.
It was very weird.
Next, I'm doing mascara, so I have two new ones I'm trying out. This is the Rimmel Kate London mascara, and I rock jet black. And the brush is very similar to the Rockin' Scandalize brush, where it has that curve. But I like this so far. It is kind of a wet formula. And then I have this one. I got this in a Birchbox like value set from the Birchbox shop. And this is the Laura Geller Glam Lash, which I love for the lower lashes because look how tiny the little bristles are. They're so tiny. They're so good for just getting right in there. Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's what I'm using. This color, I believe it's just black.
I really, to be honest, and not like off the subject, but I always thought mascara was always black.
No. Some people do brown. And sometimes it's jet black. Sometimes it's light black. Sometimes it's like, I know. But there is colored mascara also.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that there can be. I've never seen it. I don't
yeah.
think I've ever
I don't know. For me personally, I used to use brown sometimes because it matched my eyes, but I look albino if I use brown. I have to use black or else it looks like I don't have anything on my eyes at all. Yeah, and colored eyelashes are just not for me.
Speaking of visual effects, the visual effects in this movie were pretty good.
Nice segue.
Yeah, visual effects are really cool in this movie. I thought they were all really good. Near the ending, you know, things get crazy and intense. The movie was in 3D. You could see it in 3D or traditional 2D.
We did not.
Yeah, we saw it in the traditional 2D. But the ending was probably the only part where 3D would have been neat in this movie.
Yeah, I could see why.
Otherwise, I don't think it really would have added to the film in any way. Probably will be.
Yeah, definitely go see it. In my opinion, like, coming out in the holidays, there's not a lot of really good, like, holiday movies. You know what I'm talking about? Like, Christmassy type movies that come around Christmas time. They're all coming out in November. Okay, so our family used to go see movies on Christmas Day because they would always have like a Christmassy movie that would come out that you could see with your family. And this year, while I think that there are a couple Christmassy movies, whether I can see it with my family is a whole nother deal.
I think the reason is Star Wars. Star Wars is coming out near Christmas in December.
Everyone's afraid.
And yeah, everyone's like, if I release something, is it going to make any money against that thing?
It's true. All right, I just want to first talk about the palette before I move on to the false eyelashes. This palette is amazing. Every single shadow I've ever used in this palette is amazing. I love the way it makes my eyes look. I love everything about it. It's creamy, they're pigmented, they smell like chocolate, like everything is awesome. If you need to budget for a high-end palette, this should be your first buy right here. And then you need to go out and buy the semi-suite. I've just heard it's awesome. So I definitely think I'm going to get the other one soon because I am not disappointed. And I reach for pretty much every shade in here I've used, with maybe the exception of this violet-y one. I just haven't used it yet, but I will at some point. I love it. I could use this thing every day. And I think everyone else feels that way too, because that's why you hear it talked about on YouTube all the time. Oh. All right, false lashes. We're going for these. We're going to branch out for a little Dollar Tree. I found these. They're called the Sassy and Chic line. If you can see them, they're kind of crisscrossy. And I did cut them down because I knew they were going to be too long if I tried. They were like bumping long. But yeah, we're going to put these on and be right back. And we're back with the lashes. Last thing we're going to do is this. I found one. It's the Star Wars Covergirl Collection lipstick in the shade 30. Can you see
30.
It? 30. It is one of like the berry dark colors. Very dark. No. Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was appropriate. You know, Martian and Star Wars. We'll see how it looks with this look though. This is definitely a fall look. So if you're looking for something fall, this color for sure. Fun facts.
Trivia. So the movie is based on a book. A lot of people have read it. The guy that wrote it, Andy Weir, he first published this book for free online through a blog. And then he eventually put it on Amazon for Kindle to download for 99 cents a book. So he self-published this. It was not... Yeah, exactly. You got a movie deal with it. That's awesome. And then they filmed the movie in Jordan, in the desert there, because it has red-colored sand. They wanted that for the Mars look. The Matt Damon scenes were filmed over 5 weeks straight, and during that time he never met any of his cast until the very end of filming that part. And then he did not see them again until the premiere of the movie when they were doing press junkets and stuff.
Wow.
So he saw them very minimally. And they saw him very minimally as well. But it's such a big ensemble cast, that's kind of not a surprise that people didn't really see each other.
Right.
Because everyone was kind of in their little groups throughout the movie. So that was kind of cool. And then really, really cool facts about the naming of different things, from like the ship to the people, which I think is awesome, and big credit to the author of the book. So the name of the mission is Ares 3, which is an homage to the Greek god of war, Ares, whose Roman name is Mars. Yeah, because the Roman gods were all what the planets are named after. The name of the large ship that was traveling back or to Mars and Earth and such that they were on was Hermes, who is named after the Greek god, who's the messenger, god of messengers and emissaries. Mark Watney. Mark is the English version of the Latin name Marcus, which means Mars. I think that's kind of cool.
Connections.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is the look. As far as the lipstick goes, it goes on very creamy. It has that Covergirl lipstick smell, if you guys know what I'm talking about. It's kind of not chemically, but not, it doesn't really smell like anything fun. It just kind of, it's like just a weird smell, right? It just,
Yeah.
it's not overtly bad, it's just not anything to write home about. I can already feel that it is bleeding a little bit on the outside. You're probably going to need a lip liner if you use this. I don't know about longevity because I've never used this before, but I really like the color. This is definitely going to be a great berry red holiday color. I would wear the heck out of this actually come the holidays.
I think it looks cool with the eyes, yeah.
Yeah, because even though the eyes are a little dark, they still have kind of like that light brown thing going, so it's more of a neutral thing, and the lips just really pop, so I like. So yes, thank you. That is our review of the Martian, the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Palette. And the Covergirl Star Wars lipstick. If you'd like to see more of these, I'm going to put the playlist up above or down below for you, either one you want. And if you have any other movies that you want us to go see, make sure you comment down below and let us know, because we go see a lot now.
All the time.
All the time. Especially now, because we just found out that our local movie theater has reclining loungers.
Oh.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep calm.
Stay zany.
Bye.